We are speaking with Dr. Dana Corriel today on how can you use digital technologies and tools to really improve your opportunities, improve your brand. We really got to be on top of our branding on social media these days. It's so important. It's even more than magazines, newspapers, TV. And to understand that, we're going to be interviewing Dr. Dana Corriel today. But before I go into that, I want to just tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Dr. Elsie Coe, and I am the founder and CEO of Lead Physician Leadership Program for Physicians. I also perform as a CMO of American Endovascular and Amputation Prevention. I'm a practicing physician. We have a YouTube channel. Go and subscribe so you're alerted to any future topics. And Lead Physicians all about bringing passion, purpose, and potential back to our physicians. So without further ado, how can we use digital tools to improve our opportunities? Okay. Dr. Dana Corriel, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about this talk.
Yes. So, I want to show your website a little bit here, Dana, and she's got a fantastic website. And who she is, she's the founder of Media Ventures at SoMeDocs at doctoronsocialmedia.com. And she's the CEO and board advisory for digital health and healthcare startups. She's also been recognized as Medscape's one of the top 20 physician influencers for Medscape. I mean, phenomenal. She's built her website and her brand from scratch herself. Not many physicians I know who can do that. That's pretty amazing. So Dana, tell us a little bit about how you got into this, and then teach us something about how we can do this. How can we become more influential through the use of digital tools?
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. So I am a traditionally trained physician, a medical doctor, and I became acquainted with all of these digital tools during a break from medicine during 3 years away. And I discovered that I had skills in it. I discovered that I really loved to do it and loved dabbling in it. And then I realized that I could do so much with it. So I had a vision back then, this was about a decade ago, on what could be built online and what impact we could actually have within healthcare if physicians actually built individual brands and built up those brands, and just how much they can increase their self-worth where it came to coming to the negotiating table in anything in life, right? In your own personal brand versus in negotiating with a hospital on what your salary should be. And maybe you're bringing in like a ton of patients because they're all your followers who love your work as a physician.
Right. I could tell you're such a creative person. I mean, just even like the picture behind you, and what is that? That's what is that picture of right there? It looks like a little arrow. Oh, that's a cow.
It is a cow. It's a cow. Everybody asks me about the pictures wherever I interview around the house.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of doctors have creativity, but you took it to the next level. And tell us a little bit about like how are you using branding yourself? You've created this big following on social media. You have over 40,000 followers on all your social media platforms together. And people are coming to you. So before we go into like what is SoMeDocs and how people can get involved in that, teach us a little bit about how we can use these digital tools.
So it's very complex. It's like a different world that we can live and interact in. So it's very complex, and you've got to really kind of take steps back and understand exactly what means what and how it works. So for me, it's really important that doctors consider that when they start to dabble online in the consideration of an individual brand.
Okay.
Because you're essentially building intellectual property that can be used at any point for you or against you. So you've got to really be careful. And I always teach physicians that they should consider having their own space that they own in this like new world. And that usually comes in the form of a website. Again, because you own the URL of the website, you can take it from host to host, but at the end of the day, you own it. To me, social media platforms are merely just free advertising options for you.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this world where this like digital world where everyone's kind of moving around sort of like the real world highways, and they're passing by your billboard when you have presence on LinkedIn, for example. That's your billboard.
Yep.
And everyone else around it is just passing by on the highway. And
Yep.
it's up to you to curate that billboard.
Yep.
And you can also do that. You can have your billboards up in different platforms as well, in Facebook and YouTube, in Instagram and in Twitter. And those are separate billboards. And the really cool thing about it is that physicians really can build a brand with a purpose. Everybody's got a different purpose, and then be present in billboards in a way that's very easily recyclable. I'm
Yep.
going to make one ad, right, for me today. And it's going to be about hypertension because my brand's going to be built around the hypertension specialist. And then I'm going to appear in the highway, that's the LinkedIn highway 7 times. And I'm going to be appearing in the Twitter highway 7 times and 10 times in the Facebook highway. But you can really recycle things and appear in the different highways. And now social media is suddenly going to become more professional and business oriented for the professional out there, and namely for doctors who really can use more patients, more clients, and more whatever it is that each of us is striving to do entrepreneurially and career wise.
Yeah. So you're saying that a lot of physicians are not taking advantage of these social media platforms to brand. So you taught me three things offline. So number one, you're focusing on branding yourself. That's what you're talking about right now, right?
Absolutely. And yes, not only are not enough doctors doing it, but that's the crux of my business, is teaching doctors that concept, that it's not something that is sleazy to be on social media. It's something that you should actually be thinking about from an entrepreneurial and career perspective. If you curate it the right way, it can be incredible for your life and your career. It's just about curating.
Yes, yes, already. How do you even figure? I mean, I think that's what you meant by understanding what social media means from a professional standpoint, because we always think about social media from a personal standpoint. And I see people poo-pooing Facebook and this and oh, I'll never go on that because I don't want anyone to know what's going on. But you're talking about professionally using it. And when you say curate, can you give us an example? What you mean by that?
Absolutely. So curation is like the process of coming up to the fact that you're about to post and thinking through that post first.
Mm-hmm.
Curating is not just shooting from the hip and saying, I'm just going to post on social media. No, you represent someone, you represent yourself, you represent your career, and you represent your employer.
Right.
So at
Right.
the end of the day, when you post, you're on media.
Mm-hmm.
It's really no different than if the New York Times were to feature you, and you wouldn't just shoot from the hip there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't necessarily shoot from the hip in your social media platform. You should think through how to curate that presence, because it affects our personal lives, and it can affect our personal lives positively,
Mm-hmm.
but also negatively. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're interested in impacting your career in positive ways, great. I am the first person to tell you to do it, but I'm also the first person to say you've got to do it carefully. And that's where the word curation comes in.
Got it, got it. I mean, there's so much more to that, and this is just a short podcast, but I appreciate you explaining that to us. So you also spoke about exploring potential collaborations to increase your presence. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I can. So I think that collaborations are super important in the world of social media, because the fact is numbers. Numbers get us to be seen more. Our ad, our billboard in the digital highway gets seen more when we collab, when we go on podcasts like I'm going with Dr. Ko right here. It helps me to amplify my message and my business. And doctors aren't really familiar with that so much, because we just don't, first of all, we've never had
Independent
to,
thinking. It's
yeah,
independent
right.
thinking.
We've never had to market ourselves also. I mean, collaborating is something that's really important in marketing yourself and in marketing your intellectual property. And, doctors kind of poo-poo marketing, but we're marketing every single day of our lives. I've actually written articles about this, that like sometimes we're marketing a certain food to our child,
Mm-hmm.
right? When
Mm-hmm.
they are eating, when we want them to eat something that's healthy, we need to market that food. Ooh, sorry about
That's
that.
okay. That's okay.
That's what happens in social media, right? It's real life.
Yeah,
My
it's real
son
life.
is home from school and he's
Who
getting,
is that? Your son? Okay.
right, it's my middle child and he's getting
No
food
worries. I
from,
could barely hear that. But,
okay.
so tell us a little bit about how so you offer this collaboration, obviously. You're talking SoMeDocs. Let's just show some pictures here. Let's go right into, all these, things on social media doc. Tell us a little bit about let me hear, website that you have, doctorsonsocialmedia.com. And you have a membership. I saw underneath, like on the top, it says I'm not a doctor. And you have people putting their brands on your social media site. Tell us how this collaboration works and why does it work? Why is it so empowering to these physicians?
So, yeah, so our website is at doctorsonsocialmedia.com, and that's a place where we are gathering everybody's individual brands. So, I sometimes refer to it as an expert mall because the rest of the world can click into it and it's free and it's public, and they can actually find all of the different doctors that are on there, all the different brands. So, I don't know if you have a picture, actually, that's the office hour, but if you have a picture of the experts section,
Hmm.
if you click into
Let me
experts,
see. Is it
sure.
here? Here it is.
There it is, right.
Expert. Yeah.
So experts is one of the menu options on doctorsonsocialmedia.com. And in it is this data bank showcasing real doctors, right? Because the rest of the world is frustrated. They're now dealing with this new world where they don't know if the person they're following is a real doctor or not. There's all these impersonations out there.
Oh, I see. Hmm.
Right. So doctorsonsocialmedia.com can actually guarantee that this is a doctor for the user, and they don't have to rely on just a Google search, because a Google search really is just dependent on money. So
Right.
whoever gives you money, right, will show up at the top. But
So
that doesn't,
you're vetting these people. You're
yeah,
vetting these people. Mhm,
these are actual doctors, and
mhm.
they're also filtered out. You can filter them. So on the left, you see that it says pick a specialty, but there's all kinds of filters growing on our website. So you can literally choose a location because you want to see the doctor physically, or you can pick their specialty, whether they have a telehealth visit. So you can actually make maybe like a visit through telemedicine.
So it's for the general public, not just for doctors. The doctors go on there to advertise and brand themselves, but it's really meant for the public looking for a specialist.
100%. And it's also meant for others. It's for anybody that's interested in health and healthcare topics, because we have three different sections. First, there's the experts, which is just the expert data bank. And in it are also, it's a filter button that shows outside exam rooms what doctors are doing. So if
Mm,
another doctor or a member of the public wants to find a podcast, they can pick the podcast filter, or
mhm.
a speaker for their event,
Got
or
it.
a writer that's an author. And then another section is a magazine section. So the rest of the world or doctors can land on it and actually follow our articles and
Right.
see exactly, well, who wrote this article? What are they about? They no longer have to leave our website. They can actually go and actually check out the profile and see, oh, you know what? I can book this person for my next event because they're a speaker. They have a speaker portfolio.
Ah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
So
very
you advertise out to how do you advertise SoMeDocs to people who might be interested? And then how do doctors can take advantage of all the things that you have 40,000 viewers in multiple platforms, which is amazing. People are searching for doctors, but it's not just patients, it's like, maybe vendors or, conference
exactly 100%.
committee people. Yeah.
Exactly. And the key is that we're categorizing that. So, whatever endpoint user we have on our website, whether it is a patient or it is a business or it is a doctor, it doesn't matter, because the person can land on the website and then just from the menu choose, okay, I want the magazine because I want to read an article or watch a video series. Or
Right.
I'm going to now pick experts because I don't really know what I want, but I kind of want to peruse and look for a cardiologist that is fun to follow because my father in law has a hypertensive illness and I really need to read up on it. There's
Right.
so again, it's a new world. So
Yes.
there's
Yes.
so much opportunities out there, but every doctor represents different qualities about them and different interests. So this website right here is just looking to categorize it almost like a library.
Yep.
So
Yes.
we call
I
it an
think that's
article.
beautiful. Thank you so much. That is so wonderful. I think go to doctorsonsocialmedia.com, whether you're a doctor interested in branding yourself and posting to have those viewers see you, or if you're not a doctor and you're interested in finding a doctor to speak or to learn from and follow through their YouTube channel or their Facebook channel or their Twitter channel, you'll have the link on there, or books that they've written or articles they've written. I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being on here. Um, you
Thank you
know,
so much for having me.
yeah, this is so great. I mean, this is so unique. I don't know of any other platform like this. So
Yeah, it's definitely unique, and
very unique.
I don't know anyone who's done this because it really took me a lot of work, and I can guarantee that it is 100% physician founded, physician built, and physician run because I do
Right.
this full time.
Right. Wow. Thank you so much. And if you have if you have an interesting topic, please reach out to me at info@drlcco.com. I would love to hear from you and have you on a guest, be a guest on the show. Also go to leadphysician.org if you yourself or your colleague is looking for leadership training. So, any last words you might have for us as we close here?
I do. So I invite anybody that has questions on how SoMeDocs can help them or how they can work with SoMeDocs. Invite them to our open Q&A sessions. You can find them right on our website. It's every week and it's 1 hour of Zoom session where I am there and I can answer you and I can screen share and I can show you. And I invite everybody that's right to come. And that's constantly updated with new office hours. So you can come whenever it works for you.
And they can find that under more, right? The more
Yeah, right
section.
now I might change it around just hearing that it's hard to find, but right now it's under more and yeah, they
And
can.
under virtual meetings.
No, that's the virtual networking for the doctors. But under
Okay.
more, I forgot the word for it, but it's like a live Q&A session where you can ask.
Got it. Got it. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Until next Sunday.